Welcome to MXA's Shaken Not Stirred. Just as much as you guys, we love two-strokes. Today, we're fortunate to test the 2018 KTM 125 SX. As far as revisions to the 2018 bike, it just has the same updates as the 250F KTM for the suspension. Just the small changes here and there for more durability purposes. Other than the settings, they're virtually the same. Engine's the same. Everything's the same as last year. And you know what? We do love this bike. It's a fun, powerful bike. When you get on the gas, it unlike typical 125s, it actually has some get up and go, so you don't have to abuse the clutch coming out of the corners or anything like that. So we're gonna get a couple guys out here, they're gonna do some laps. I'm gonna get back to you with our initial feedback, see if anything's changed, and really give you some feedback about the bike. Spent the whole day at Glen Helen doing some laps on the KTM 125. They did have some revised settings for the jetting than last year. Last year the jetting was just horrible. First off, it was our fault. We didn't read the manual. It said run 60-to-1 gas, which is super lean. And you know what? I mean, we run 41 and everything. After we learned that, then it got a little better, and we still made some jetting tweaks. Got out here, the bottom end was really kind of blubbery, so we actually leaned out the pilot, and that definitely helped a lot after we changed the jetting. And then also the power valve screw. So the power band, especially for me, I'm a bigger rider, it's a really long power band, easy to ride, but off the bottom coming out of the corners, I really had to use the clutch coming out, and it just keeps on pulling and pulling. I went in on the power band screw a quarter turn. Actually, I started with a half turn, and that was really good for jumps coming right out of the corners and stuff like that. But for longer straightaways, it was a little too much, so I backed out a quarter turn, and that was kind of the sweet spot we found there. As far as the forks are concerned, really like the forks. I think the initial pressure is like 124. That was definitely too soft for me, really a little too far down the stroke. I went to 129 and actually went out on the compression about 10 clicks. So it rose it up a little bit, and when we raised the PSI, it made the little more bottom resistance. So overall, it was a really good stroke, easy to ride, very plush. As far as the rear, it worked well with the front, but we always think the rear doesn't handle as well as the front, but it does balance out really good. We also, last year, we went up one up on the rear, which I know everybody thinks we do that a lot. Some people like it and some people don't. For myself, I can carry a lot more speed, and stock gearing is fine for me. For the little slow riders who really almost come to a stop or brake hard in the corners, went more towards one bigger on the rear. This is a great fun bike. I really love riding two strokes, even I'm 200 plus pounds, and it pulls me around the track, pulls me up the hills of Glen Helen, and really gets into the lines really easy, and is fun to maneuver. Check for the full write-up of the 2018 KTM 125 SX in the March issue of Motocross Action magazine, or as always, go to motocrossactionmag.com for all the updates and reviews of bikes and parts.